Hello, guys, and welcome back to Studio One, Butterfly, Bugs, and more. Today we are doing the Studio One versus Cubase number 2, and we are talking about track creation in many aspects. Um, it's a game, guys. It's a game. Of course, the score is a game. But it's an occasion also to have fun while exploring and digging something that is not always common to find, because there are those comparison well done, but in 10 minutes they want to compare very complex things like a dough is. And I like to go deep inside, as I do think that those two doughs are the most complete ones in terms of linear recording. So I don't think about stuff like Live or Fruit Loops. Probably I don't know them. Um, let's go inside right away. Um, there actually basically not much to say about track creation itself, as it is so very similar. So you can create your preset here on the media and just drag it. In this case, it would go on the track. In this case, create a new track and put the in places the presets that you have stored, right? Although there is one difference, and this difference is in favor of Studio One, in my opinion. Of course, this. I mean, it's always arguable, but I got this preset I've done. I create this new track. It's electric guitar, and it loads all the plugins, and it's got a plus. You see that here is the output is buzzed to 5 and 6, which is what I use on my console as first output, because I have multiple outputs. So for people who use multiple outputs, this is useful actually, and is slightly better. So because of it, in Studio One. In regards of other stuff, I won't even show you importing from a different song, which is a super useful function, because they are totally the same. Slightly better in Cubase, if you mind. I don't, because you can choose what position to import: original position, relative position. This is I think is more important for very electronic production rather than more linear, or I don't see the purpose of it. So for me, it makes no difference. I can only talk for me. So maybe for another person, it's so very important. But where the big difference is that in Cubase, when you create a track, you have to pay a lot of attention on the way you create it. So I want to go back, just curiosity, I want to go back to the track import function as before, because I think it's such a great function. In my mind, Pro Tools created it first. I might be wrong, but in terms of what we care more about, Cubase and Studio One, I think Studio One created before. I don't know, because I told you Cubase can copy better. And so I think they copied exactly the same and implemented a bit more. And as we saw in the previous videos, I don't know if you guys agreed, but actually the implementation of the comping function was not so great, in my opinion. Was super useful, but not great. Worse than Cubase is, in fact. As per now, we are Cubase 4, CD1 0. This is our game. This is our play. The way to have fun while doing more serious stuff. So you have to pay a lot of attention here, because let's assume you create a mono track here. And by mistake, because you want to import a sample, and this sample, which I just lost. Whoa. Here it is. The sample is stereo. So what about now? Why? Okay, he accepted. So you say, okay, he converted it into stereo. No, it's mono. And if I press here, nothing happens. And this is leads you to disasters, potentially disaster. And I've worked in Cubase for 5 years. I know what I'm talking about because what happens now? You insert I don't know stage one two, okay, and you start changing parameters, which I cannot change, yeah, because I don't remember. It's a new plugin. You change here, change here, you change here, change here, and then you got the settings, right? And then you open I don't know, a compressor, a rouser, okay, and you move here, here, and here. And then you discover all of a sudden, you start realizing that something is wrong, and you realize that this is not behaving as a stereo because, in fact, it's just summing the two channel into a mono one. And you have no way of turning it into stereo. And the problem now is that you cannot copy and paste this from a mono to a stereo. At least for most plugins, I don't know. I think all of them, or it depends on the DAW. Surely in Cubase you cannot on certain plugins. I cannot be so detailed, but I'm telling you, I've been working for 5 years. I had this problem. You have to recreate a new stereo track and copy all the parameters that you have created that are meaningless actually because you did it on a mono track. This for a compression might be still worthwhile. I'm not quite sure because the volume, I don't know if the volume is double, but no, surely here you did nothing. You were just I don't know what you were doing, but psychoacoustic, it happens to all of us. But it can be a different plugin where you are creating a chorus, an effect, whatever. And now you have to manually copy. And that's not nice. Not nice to do it. And so here is the big change. Here is the big value where you can see here the age of Cubase. Cubase is actually aging very, very well. It's such a good program. But this one is one of the worst thing that if you relate to other software is just unbearable, unforgivable. There are others I will show. And this one is a time-consuming one, and it's stupid, and it's maybe it's not stupid. It's so difficult to change for them. There are other stuff that are indeed more stupid. So here, guys, what can I say? I want to show you one little thing that is, in my opinion, is better in. What did he do? I don't know. What did he do? I just dragged. I don't know. Let's undo. Okay, you have to press this to remove Eco Boys. You have to press Alt, or Command. What about in Cubase? In Cubase, nothing. You just drag it out. That's it. Why you need to press there? You just take it on a different location. This works better. So here you have a dot point to better, okay? But we won't evaluate this way because it's just habit. It is better here, but this is really the important story here. And it is so much better in Cubase where you can move in Studio One, where you can flip. Now I cannot see it from mono to stereo in such an easy way. Well, here. Yeah, you just press and it's mono and it's stereo and it's mono and it's stereo. And these guys revert completely the result of the first episode. This is worth to me easily 5 points. So now the result is Studio One 5, Cubase 4. Studio One ahead of Cubase. After a very bad first episode, it totally reverted and went ahead. So just a game, just fun, but the situation of the real creating track, importing, and this big problem, it it is the real deal, and you can evaluate, of course, as many points as you want. But for me, is Studio One 5, Cubase 4. See you next time. Bye, guys. Have a great sessions.